So today we're up to decimals and fractions, which is 6.7 in our textbook. When we're converting decimals to fractions, you need to use your knowledge of place value and express the decimal as a fraction. So this is pretty easy. We've done this before. Step 2 is to remember to simplify the fraction whenever possible, and this is something we forget sometimes. So really important to remember to simplify the fraction. So this example here, 0.25. Now this is 25 hundredths. So I know that because the second digit is in the hundredths column. So it's 25 over 100. So that's as easy as that for converting the decimal to the fraction. However, that's not the end of it because we still have to simplify. Alright, so 25 over 100, as we know, is actually 1/4. So we can divide 25 into 100. We can divide 25 into 100 4 times. So 100 divided by 25 is 4. And 25 divided by 25 is 1. So we can change this to 1/4, and that can simplify that. Alright, so converting fractions to decimals when the denominator is a power of 10. So that means it's 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000, something like that. Alright, so it's easy to do that just by knowing place value. So for example, we can just do 6/10. So 6/10 equals, because I know where all my place value is, I know that 0.6 is 6/10 because that's 6 is in the tenths column. I can do hundredths, just say I had 76 hundredths, and that would be 0.76 because I know all about place value. So that's something you should all know, just a little refresher for you. Alright, so when we're converting fractions to decimals when the denominator is not a power of 10, so when the bottom number is not 10, 100, 1,000, something like that, we need to find an equivalent fraction whose denominator is a power of 10, then convert it to a decimal. Okay, so we need to change it into a power of 10 and then convert it to the decimal after we've done that. So there's a couple more steps. So let's try doing 5 3/5. Okay, so this is a mixed number. So we can see the denominator is not, so the denominator down for denominator, the bottom number, it's not a power of 10. It doesn't end in, it isn't 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000. So we can't automatically convert it into a decimal. We have to do another step. So we have to convert this to a power of 10. So we can easily convert fifths. So you know fifths will go to tenths. So we can change it to 5 and something over 10. So 5 2s are 10. So what we do the bottom we have to do to the top. So I got multiplied by 2 to get 10. So the top number I have to multiply that by 2. So 3 times 2 is 6. So then I know that 3/5 equals 6/10. That's an equivalent fraction. Now I can convert it into a decimal. I know that the whole numbers will go to the left of the decimal point. So 5 point. And then I know because it's tenths, I know the 6 will go in the tenths column. So it'll be 5.6 will be the decimal. Okay, there is another way. You can do this for every fraction. Otherwise you can use one of those other methods. But this one is mostly used for fractions that you can't easily work out a power of 10. You can't easily convert them to the denominator to a power of 10. So all you do is you just divide the numerator by the denominator. So you just divide the top number by the bottom number. So I'll give you an example of this. Let's do 5/8. Okay, so we need to divide the top number, so the numerator, by the denominator. So we know that this means 5 divided by 8. 5/8 means 5 divided by 8. So we need to work it out. So 5 divided by 8. Right, now let's work this out. So we 8 won't go into 5, so we actually have to put some zeros here so that we can work it out. Now the decimal place will go after the 5 because 5 in this, because we're dividing 5 by 8, 5 is seen as a whole number even though it's a part of a fraction. Alright, so 8 into 5 doesn't go, so then we have to put the 5 over here. 8 into 50, so 6 8s are 48. We have 2 left over. 8 into 20, 2 8s are 16, with 4 left over. So we keep adding zeros till we can get till we don't have any left over. So 8 into 40 is 5. So there we go, we don't have any left over now. Therefore, 5/8 as a decimal equals 0.625. Now obviously it's easier to do this on your calculator, so you just type in 5 divided by 8 and you'll come up with this. However, you do need to know how to do it on paper as well. Alright, now this is your turn. I want you to pause the video and do this yourself. So I want you to convert the decimals to fractions and make sure that if you have to, then you do it in their simplest form as well. You convert it to their simplest form. So pause the video now and do these, please. Alright, so the first one, it's pretty easy, isn't it? So we know this decimal is 239 thousandths. So we can just convert this to 239 over 1,000. And my cat he wants my attention because I'm giving it to my iPad. Alright, so just ignore the cat in the background. Okay, now we've got 10.35. So we know 10's the whole number. And we've got 35 hundredths. So 10 and 35 hundredths. Is that the end? Well, for the first one, that was actually its simplest form. But for this one, we know that it ends in a 5. The 35 ends in a 5. And the bottom number ends in 0. So we know that we can convert these into simplest form further. Alright, so 5 7s are 35 and 5 20ths are 100. So 10 and 7 20ths is in its simplest form. Alright, one more. So we need to convert these to decimals. Again, pretty easy. We can convert 17 over 100 to a decimal because we know that it's hundredths. So we can put 0.17 just through our knowledge of place value. Alright, this next one though, this is a bit trickier. 7 12ths. Well, it's not really that easy to work out the power of 10 for this one. So we're going to just do this as a division sum. So remembering we can do the numerator divided by the denominator. So 7 divided by 12. You have to go 7 divided by 12. Alright, and that's, remember, we're putting the decimal place here. And then we can add some zeros. Alright, 12 into 7, obviously you can't do that because we're going to convert it into a decimal. Alright, 12 into 70. 12 5s, 5 12s are 60. With 10 left over. Put a word of 10 here, whoops. Okay, so 12 into 100 now, so 8 12s are 96. We've got 4 left over. Okay, so then 12 into 40, so 3 12s are 36. 4 left over. 3 12s are 36. 4 left over. Now you can see a pattern happening here. Seems to be a recurring pattern. So therefore, we need to just put our little dots here. So that will identify it as recurring. Okay, so this way we have to round the number. So the answer would be 0.583. We can just round it to thousandths. So the answer will be, so 7 12ths equals 0.583. All right, good luck with your work.